Another episode of Live Feed with your host, Richard Santiago. Live Feed is brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher. For all your digital resources, check out travelingtechteacher.com. Young Blue in the house. What's up, Young Blue? Also brought to you by theBULLYexposed.com, a nonprofit organization geared at helping survivors of bullying, so let them help you. Before I start, I want to thank Brianna and her family for allowing me to spend Brianna's birthday with her. We had fun talking and learning about Brianna and what she did on her birthday. So again, we want to wish you a happy birthday, Brianna. And remember, the whole month is your birthday. So celebrate, not just yesterday, celebrate all the time. So we got a awesome question from one of our followers, and is if you ever had a what is your biggest regret? Was the follower's question. What is your biggest regret? So I will be telling you my biggest regret, and I can't talk today, so we definitely will be covering my biggest regret in life. So Young Blue, thank you for smashing that hard. Also, have you heard of my of new deluxe album? What is the name of the deluxe album? And we'll play it for this topic. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to tell you people's biggest regrets that they've had in life. And then I'll end it off with a regret that I have that in my life. So as soon as Young Blue tells us the deluxe album, the new deluxe album, we'll play that while we talk today. Let's see, is it Apollo? Is it songs like Apollo? Night on the spaceship? Is that it? Okay. So let's start with what people have said has been their biggest regrets. Apollo 13 Deluxe. Apollo 13 Deluxe, 14 tracks. Okay, here we go. We're going to play Apollo 13 Deluxe while we talk about people's biggest regrets. This is, I surveyed a couple of my friends and I asked them what was their biggest regrets. And so this is what they told me. So number 5 is not taking enough vacations. My friends feel that that people do not take enough vacations, and that can be a big regret that somebody might have at the end of their life. Number 4 is not keeping up with old friends. I can definitely see how that can be a regret. So always keep up with your friends. Not expressing true love is number 3. Yes, you see that girl across the room and you want her, or that friend or that coworker you always worked with. You never told them how much you cared about him or her. And so you regret that later. Yeah, that I can see how that can be a serious regret in life. Not expressing your true feelings. Number 2, not spending enough time with families. Yes, that is true too. There's some people that work all the time. They never spend time for their family. And then when they're older, they definitely regret that. So that is a good one. So let's go right to number 1. Number 1, remaining at an unfulfilled job. That's right, guys. My dad always taught me, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And that is the truth. I was talking with one of my film worker friends, and they said to me that that sometimes they wake up in the morning, they start working on a project, and the next thing they know, it's 10 o'clock at night. And this has happened to me too. 10 o'clock at night, and guess what? It's light. There's no more dark outside. I mean, it's dark outside, and you stood the whole 12, 13 hours of the day sitting working on this project. That's when you know you're doing something you love. Young Blue says, I think I'm young. I'm too young for regret, but I don't know. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. So he's got a smiley face on number 3. I mean, a sad face on number 3. So let's see. 3, the true love one. Okay. And Raven 2 is near the end of the album. Okay. Awesome. I might jump to that one and close with that one because I want to hear the new. Is that the one when I was doing the voice over? We were doing the voice for it and you were recording it. Is that one? Let me know. So now let's get to the question that our follower asked. And what is your biggest regret? Well, I was 15 years old. Okay. And my counselor pulls me into his office, and he says to me that the way you're going with your grades right now, you're not going to be able to get into a good college, and you want to be able to get into a good college. For those of you that are going to DM me later, I'm drinking lemongrass lemonade. I made it myself. Pulls me in there and he says, so you want to be able to get into a good school, so you got to pull your grades up and make them better. What can I do to help you to make your grades better? So I did what I could to pull my grades up. And so then I had another great teacher. And it said that I can't remember his name, but he was... I went to a vocational school while I was in high school, and where it was a restaurant. That's what this thing was. It was a restaurant, and all we did was like run prep. We ran the restaurant for a couple of hours, and then we went home. Went back to our regular school, and it was great, and I loved it. And so he started, so I told him about my meeting with my counselor, and he said, okay, so we got to work real hard to get your grades up. And then he said to me, if you want to continue, and I think you do, I remember him saying that, a career in culinary arts, you want to go to one of the 3 schools. One, you want to get to a school in France, or you want to get to Johnson & Wales, or you want to get to CIA, Culinary Institute of America, in upstate New York. Those are the 3 schools that I only recommend for if you want to continue a career in this field. So I said, okay, all right. So for me, and shame on me for thinking this way, but me, I thought I'm a New York City kid. I was a New York City kid, going to be able to afford the money to fly to France. I've never flown anywhere in my life. To fly to France, go to a school out there, not know anyone, not know French and all that. And I should have never knocked myself out like that. So I said, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into... I set a goal to get myself into either Johnson & Wales or CIA. And to fast forward, I got myself into both schools and ended up choosing. So I asked my instructor which school would be best. And he said to me, Johnson & Wales, which is in Providence, Rhode Island. And I said, okay, I'm going to work real hard and get into that one. And that's the one I end up choosing. I end up getting into both, but that's the one I end up choosing. Then what ended up happening is my parents couldn't afford those schools. I don't remember what they were at the time, but they were extremely expensive to get into those schools. So my parents couldn't afford them. So I just ended up not going to college, which was very silly for me. I should have known. I'm 17 years old. Okay, I'm 18 years old at this time. I did not know that I can get a student loan. Yeah, I would be in debt right now. But my climb to get the restaurants that I ended up owning at the time I sold them, would have not been so hard, I think. I would have not had such a hard struggle in getting the restaurants. And so I still fulfilled my dream. My dream was to someday own a restaurant. So I fulfilled that dream. But the road was very hard, I think. It was extremely hard road to do it. So my only regret is not going to college. That's the only thing I really have. That's the only big regret I ever have for that person who asked. So my lesson, I want to teach you guys something. So educate yourself. Learn. Don't just say, okay, well, it's impossible now. My parents aren't going to pay for college, so it's impossible. Learn your other options. Learn what else you can do, because that's what I should have done. So Young Blue starts the Q&A. Thank you, Young Blue. Young Blue also says, we were together for half a year, and I spent two. I don't know what you're talking about. No, not that one. That's you were on. Okay, no, not that one that you were on. Okay. Let me see. He also says, let's see. In the album, I recommend Raven 2, Mighty Dragon, and Night on a Spaceship. Okay. Thank you, Pico, for joining us. How's work, Pico? So let me see if I can find that one. Any of those. Let's see. Well, here's Raven 2. So I'm going to play Raven 2 just to hear what it's like. So don't be like me, guys. You don't have no regrets. I think that every kid should live their life with, first you go to school, and then you go to college. College is not an option. Unfortunately, gone are the days that you can not go to college. People look at that as something great, when you go to college. They look at that as something very important. Hello, Danielle. Thank you for joining the show. So it really is important to go to college. So remember that, guys. Before you give up on college, make sure that you exhaust all types of options. And I'm not saying I gave up in college. I'm just saying before you do. BV, thank you for joining the show. Well, Raven 2 is real different, dude. It's very different. It's nothing like Raven number 1. I thought it would be a remix version of number 1. So how's everyone doing? Wild Roots Nutrition UK, welcome to the show. So let's continue that Q&A. Smash that question mark, ask your questions, make your statements. What is the biggest regret you have? Whether you're watching this on a recorded version or whether you're watching this live right now with me, what is your biggest regret? Do you have any regrets? I know Young Blue said that he's too young to have any regrets, and that's good. That's good. It would be sad if he had like several regrets under his belt right now because he is so young. But anybody out there with any regrets? I hope not. I think I can safely say that I really have went through life with no regrets. I've ended relationships when I thought that they should be ended. And at the time, I regretted those things, but now that I'm a little bit older, I don't regret them. So they've become regrets that I was able to just knock off. And Pico says, I regret that I'm 173 centimeters, which I think is like 5'4", and you have nothing to be ashamed about that. And I do see your question marks, but they're not coming on. Let's see. So Danielle says, how are you? I am fine, Danielle. How are you doing? Doing real good. You know, I am, can't complain, you know, can't complain. I'm very happy with everything going on. Pico says that he regrets his dad leaving at the age of when he was 3, but that's not your fault, Pico. I mean, sorry, Young Blue. Remember, that is not your fault. That is not your fault. That's a regret that your dad is gonna hold. We cannot hold regrets for what people do, you know, because if that was the truth, I would have bunches of regrets. I had girlfriends that cheated on me. I can't say I regret that my girlfriend cheated on me, because that's a choice she made to do, not me, you know. So remember that, guys, that regrets are not things that we're sad that other people did. You know, we can say that we're sad that so-and-so decided to do something, but that's about it. Buenos Aires, genetics, they're insane. How are you? So genetics is from Italy. So I guess I'll use my, you know, I've been studying Italian, but I have not been using it, and that's really bad. I should start to use it, so when I get to Italy, I already know, you know, I already have some of it using. I know that I did learn to say this. Sono un regista cinematografico, which means I am a filmmaker. I am a cinematographer, if you translate it. But I gotta get it better where it flows better. So sono is I am. Sono un is a. Sono un regista. Regista is director. And cinematografico is cinematography. So sono un regista cinematografico. And I'm sure that I'm pronouncing it wrong. I'm sure that I'm pronouncing it in Spanish, which is not the proper way to pronounce it. But I told you guys, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna speak a mixture of Italian and Spanish when I get to there. Let people correct me, and please correct me. I have no problem with someone correcting me. And that's how I'm gonna deal until I've learned the flow of it. So that's what I'm gonna do. Thank you for smashing that heart. Smash that heart if you like that beautiful sentence I just made. Yeah, I've learned. So I'm learning things. What I'm teaching myself mostly is how to say things like, please speak slowly so I can understand you better. Which I don't remember how it's said, because I've been so busy, I haven't really sat down and went over that. But I know it's lentamente, which is speak slowly. And then I forgot the other part, unfortunately. I'm still a police officer, but I am in SST training also. Oh, okay. Or SST. So what is SST? Let's see. And don't judge my dragon by the name or the cover. What is that, a song? Young Blue says, don't judge my dragon. Special police. Okay. Special police training. Is that what it is? Yeah, it must be a song. Don't judge Mighty Dragon by the name of the cover. Oh, okay. This is Mighty Dragon. Okay. Gotcha. Well, that's good. Special police. It's real good. What does a special police handle? Riots? Have you guys ever had a riot out there? And I don't mean this in any bad way, but are people in Japan allowed to protest if they want to protest something? We deal, I guess so, because he said we deal with protesters, guarding Olympics, okay, government buildings, also sometimes guarding military hospitals, okay. All right. We have small Shinzo Abe riots, okay. And who is Shinzo Abe? Who is Shinzo Abe? Let's see, I do not like Shinzo Abe too, but it doesn't mean I like riots. I like riots, okay. So Pico says I don't like Shinzo Abe too, but it doesn't mean I like riots, okay. So I figured that the special police would deal with riots. Shinzo Abe is Prime Minister of Japan. Oh, is he not doing a good job? And don't say that if you're going to get in trouble, because, you know, it's real funny, because in America, we can say someone's not doing a good job, but in other countries, you can't say that. You can't say someone's doing a bad job. You can get sued. So don't say it if you're going to get in any kind of trouble. Or I don't want to say that. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Well, if people are rioting, okay, it's chances are someone's not doing a good job. That's what I'm going to say. Don't know who, but I'm Irish American, says Young Blue. And the Irish were treated the same as the African Americans were back in the day. Yes, everybody was. Everybody was. The difference between Irish America and Italian America, when they were bullied, is that some of them could hide and blend in and change their names. I've known Italians that have changed their names because they were tired of the bullying that occurred to them. I know Irish people who have changed their name from O'Connor to either just Connor or just change their name altogether. So because of that, it's a slight difference between the African community and others. Even Puerto Ricans, there are some Puerto Ricans that are very light-skinned and they pass as white, and them too. They can change their name. They can do a lot to simulate in with America so that they don't get bullied anymore, and some have done that. So that's the only difference. But yes, everyone that has come to America who had a chance, and this is why I'm glad you brought this up, Blue. This is why what's happening to the African American community is so important. African Americans were here before the Irish, before the Italians, before the Puerto Ricans. Okay, the three groups that I just mentioned. And there are others. I'm not saying there are not others. There's Chinese, lots of people. But out of the three groups that I mentioned, the African Americans were here before them, and they're still being treated with disrespect and with with not the respect that they deserve for a group of people who have built this nation. If it wasn't for slavery building up the economy with the cotton plantations, America would not be the powerhouse that it is today. So, yes, everyone has had their chance of being on the block, so to speak, you know, having their head on the block. But it seems that time after time, no matter how much time goes by, the African American's head is still always on the block. And that's what needs to change. That's what needs to change, yes. Thank you for that statement, Young Blue. And I do think, and I know some people are fond of a lot of, that they're fond of a lot of, what's the word I'm thinking of? Oh, the Confederacy flag and the Confederacy statues. I know there's a lot of people fond of those, but they do need to go. You know, I was talking with a friend the other day about TV shows. There's a TV show in Australia that was taken off of Netflix because the main actor of it did some shows in blackface, so it was taken off. And my friend from Australia said she doesn't like this new culture of canceling a lot of these shows that for years, okay, not just yesterday, not just 2 days ago, for years, people have been claiming have been racist. And now, I knew this would happen. You know, now I'm faced with a situation like that. I lived in Las Vegas, Nevada for a very long time. I'm a big sports fan, and in Nevada, when I lived in Nevada, there were no professional sports teams, okay? So, in order to have sports, in order to have that surge of sports, we had the Running Rebels, which is a college basketball team, which my wife is a alum from UNLV. She got her degrees there. Okay, so now Running Rebel, or he's better known as Hey Reb, the Running Rebel character. Let me see if I have a picture of him to show you guys. I really hate showing pictures like this to you guys, but so there he is right there. That's him. And he is a Confederate person. I don't know if he's a general. I don't know what he is, but he's a Confederate person. And UNLV has just announced that they are no longer going to have Reb or Hey Reb as their mascot. Now, he's not offensive to me. I will agree. I never thought of the fact that he is Confederate, you know. But because he is Confederate and we have to be fair across the board, we can't pick and choose what Confederate things we're going to leave up and take down, I have to, in my heart, say goodbye to Hey Reb and put him to rest. Young Blue says Little Baby and Da Baby made a song about the riots. Awesome. I will ask my son what they are and check them out. Pico says, I love all people. Good. That's the way it should be. Let's see. We do have a question here from Young Blue. Then why are they taking the Abraham Lincoln statues down? I think I could answer that. Give me a second. Let me see here. I have something here that first of all, Lincoln, and I've been saying this for years. Lincoln did not free the slaves for the right reasons. Okay. And that's what happens that's why you should never, like when it comes to women's rights, we should never try to help women with their rights just because it benefits us. We should do it because it's the right thing to do. looks like I'm not going to be able to find. There was a speech that Abraham Lincoln said that proves that he was not for the people, the African American community. And I let me see. Give me a second here, guys. I can find it. I had something. All right, let me show you this. I came across this, so let me show you this. There is the picture of them removing the statue from Sinky Love. Thank you for joining the show. Removing the Hey-Reb statue. And again, I am so sorry to see him go. I really am. It was not offensive to me, but we have to be fair. So, Abraham Lincoln once said, I am not, nor have I ever been, in favor of bringing about in any way a social or political equality of the white and black races. There must be the position of superiority and inferiority, and I, as much as any other man, I am in favor of having the superiority position assigned to the white race. That is something that Abraham Lincoln said, okay? Which leads me to believe that he was not, America has said that he was shot or he was assassinated because he freed the slaves. It might be a true statement, but he still was a man that still wanted the I don't know why I can't pronounce this word today. Superiority. I'm not even going to try. He was all for white supremacy, obviously by what he said. I'm paraphrasing. So that's why, to answer your great question, why statues of Abraham Lincoln taken down, that is why. Because that's his statement. So he said that. And he did it. And there's a lot of black scholars and some white scholars that feel that he freed the slaves so they would come and fight on his side for the North. He didn't free the slaves because it was the right thing to do. And we should always do things for the right reasons, not because, I shouldn't be all for, I shouldn't be all for women's rights so that women will follow my account, my Facebook account or whatever account I have. That's not the reason why I should say, women, I'm on your side when I'm truly not. And that's what Lincoln basically has done. Is he said that he's going to free the slaves, but deep in his heart he did not feel that that there should be equality. He felt that one race should be in charge, and he was all in favor of that one race being white. I'm paraphrasing. That's basically what he said. So for that reason, his statues are being taken down. And it's it's really sad. It's really sad because pretty soon they're gonna have to all be Hispanic statues or African American statues or Chinese statues or maybe Indian statues are gonna be the only thing up, because I really think most of the statues that are up most of them were slave owners, or most of them they might have done something good for African America, but it wasn't in their heart, and that's sad. That's really sad to know that. So let's see, any other questions? But that is a very, very Very, very good question. Thank you, Young Blue, for asking. Everyone smash that heart for Young Blue. Whether you're watching this on the recorded version or live, smash that heart. That was a very good question. Because people really need to know the truth. And, in America, you're not learning the truth. When I went to school, I mean, you might be learning the truth now, or a washed down version of the truth. But I know when I went to school, we were told. That's right. I remember being your guys' ages, young, in school, elementary school. We're talking, and being taught that yes, we had slaves, but we treated them right. There is no way that you can have slaves and treat them right. Because people are going to say, okay, great, great. I'm a slave and I'm being treated great. One of them is going to say, but I want to move up north, or I want to move to Canada, or I want to move to Mexico. Someone is going to say, I want to go somewhere. This is not for me. I have other dreams, and picking cotton is not a dream for me, so I want to go somewhere else. And you think they're going to let them go? Of course not. So because of that, there is no way. The Germans did the same thing, I want you to know. When I was in film class at school, we saw a bunch of videos of how people use film in a negative way. So I saw films where propaganda films that Germany made to show that, yes, we have concentration camps. I cannot talk today. Concentration camps. But these people are being treated so nice. You should see it. You should see how they're being treated. And even one person told me today, yes, at the border, they have captured their kids. And they have them. They have separated their kids. But they're being treated so nicely. No, they're not. And there's video to show that they're not. They don't even give them blankets. They're sleeping on concrete floor. So, never in the history has anyone treated someone who's been captured, basically is what it is, nicely. That just doesn't happen. So for all you Americans that think, yeah, we had slaves, but we treated them nice, just doesn't happen. Because you think for a minute, if I can take you and I can hold you hostage, or make you work when you don't want to work, how am I treating you nice? Even if I give you everything you want, even if I never whipped you. I mean, they were whipped constantly, these slaves. Even if I never whipped you, even if I never did anything bad to you, okay? When you say you don't want to work today, you don't want to pick cotton, or you want to go up north and live in Canada, or you might want to go to South America, or you might want to go back to Africa, whatever you say, and it's other than working and making the slave owner money, he's not going to want to hear it. So let's see. Why my eyes look funny according to racist people? First of all, your eyes do not look funny, Pico. Now, I have a lot of Asian friends that feel the same way. They are not happy with their eyes. You have to come to grips with loving your eyes. There is nothing wrong with your eyes. There's nothing funny about your eyes. And whenever you ask questions like this, Pico, please, I want you to ask them in a positive way. Say, how I would have phrased this question is, why are my eyes something that racist people are not happy with? That's how I would have phrased it. Okay? Every race has a problem that other people don't like. I shouldn't call it. See, I'm guilty of that. I just phrased that wrong. That's not how I should have phrased it. But every race has something that another race does not find attractive. And you know whose problem is that? The problem of the person who has the problem. That is not your problem. I feel that Asian eyes are beautiful. Okay? So you got to stop listening to the people who find that. For instance, like I told you, I have Thai friends too. And Thai people feel, because they've been told this by racist people, that they have flat noses. So a lot of them hate their noses. And A lot of them go and get plastic surgery to make their nose pointy. Horrible. I think, and I've told my friends this, that putting on a pointy nose is uglier than however flat your nose is. You know, I think it looks beautiful.